Now, it is no longer news that the Ministry of Communication, Innovation and Digital Economy has unveiled a strategic blueprint titled Accelerating Our Collective Prosperity Through Technical Efficiency. This strategic blueprint is a detailed and progressive framework that encompasses 5 key pillars: knowledge, policy, infrastructure, innovation, entrepreneurship, and capital, as well as trade. These are expected to drive the communication, innovation, and digital economy program of the federal government in the next 4 years. What does this mean for the sector? Is the focus on our discussion on the program. I have ICT expert Evans Wohorem. You're welcome to Dr. Mind you, is a doctor, Dr. Evans Wohorem. You're welcome to Business Express.
Thank you very much. I'm delighted to be here.
Okay, well, it's awesome that the ministry has a roadmap towards realizing the renewed hope agenda of the present administration. I believe you must have seen the document. Does it reflect the goals and aspiration of stakeholders in the sector?
It's always good to have a document that guides an organization or a country on the things to do in the AI space. The document we are talking about is a very good one by the Ministry of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy. It's a strategic blueprint on how to move the country forward with regards to information technology. I believe that it's a very good one because it provides the country not only with a set of goals and guidelines that are going to guide everybody that is within the industry, but it also helps to show us what we are going to measure. I think that, to me, is very audacious, very, bold. For the first time, somebody is telling us not only what needs to be done within that ministry, but he is also telling us what we should measure him by, because this now is in the public domain, and as a result of that, we are going to actually use that to judge the extent to which he has been successful, the extent to which the ministry has accomplished most of those laudable things it has presented as things it needs to do. For example, in the blueprint, it establishes knowledge as something that is going to drive all that we do. So knowledge is one of the 5 pillars of that blueprint. The other ones being policy, infrastructure, then innovation, entrepreneurship, and capital as the 4th pillar, and the 5th pillar as trade. I think a combination of all this is definitely going to take the country, forward.
Okay, I'm excited about this document because it targets to train like 3 million technical talent and upscale digital literacy to 70% by 2027. How feasible is this?
I think it's very, very feasible. 3 million, given the size of this country, a country of the size of 220 million people, that comprises so many people that are hungry to be trained. There are so many institutions that are already out there. There's a need to begin to train, an enormous number of people, starting from the primary school areas, secondary, university, and other tertiary institutions. I think given the size of this country, that number definitely is doable. In fact, some people even believe that we can achieve a lot, more than that.
Okay, where is the place of private sector in all this? We've seen the document, but what role do you think, or should the private sector be playing in this whole achievement of, I mean, if the implementation of this blueprint?
The blueprint, to me, as I said earlier, showcases not only all those targets, but it also showcases the measures that are going to be used to determine whether those targets are being met. I think this is a very useful roadmap for the country, and I believe that one thing, of course, is for us to have a roadmap, is for us to have a blueprint. Another thing is for us to make sure that we implement that very, very meticulously. And that is one area I believe that the blueprint needs to also, make sure that a lot more work is done. And perhaps it might, be that because in every strategic plan, you have to have at least 4, major components, namely the framework, which is very important. The framework will tell you how the blueprint aligns with what the government wants, to do. That is very, important. Then the policies that are going to drive all that is also, very, very important. Then, of course, the plan. If you have the framework, you have policies, you have to also have plans, and you have to also have the structure that can be used to make sure that all that are realized. This particular blueprint captures almost all those things in one small document. Although the document is not very detailed and deep in terms of all that it's talking about, but you can also see that it's very practicable. It's a quick and dirty document, a set of heuristics or rules of thumb that can be used to make sure that that is done and achieved in a very momentous manner.
Okay,
that's good.
Doctor, let's talk AI. Artificial intelligence is what is shaping what we do and how effective it gets done today. How much of AI can we take advantage trying to improve, let's say, security, trade, agriculture, and governance?
I think AI is so important in the world we are living in today. It has become a means through which companies and countries are even competing. Today, a lot of countries out there are investing enormous amounts of money. For example, China is investing hundreds of billions of dollars in the AI area. Similarly, America is doing the same thing. Even South Korea is investing about 1.5 to 2 billion in that domain. But here in Africa, most of us have not started taking it as seriously as that, because for a country like Nigeria, 200 and something million people, the biggest economy also in Africa, the biggest country by population, we ought to take AI very, very seriously. And I believe that in the blueprint that's just been provided by the ministry, a very good attempt is being made to make sure that Nigeria does well in the area of AI. For example, it is trying to make sure that 50,000 people or jobs are created that a lot of people are going to get. That, I think, is a very good thing. Of course, more can be done. And also today, Nigeria is about number 96 in the 96th percentile, in terms of AI readiness and use in the world, or diffusion in the world. I think they now want to make sure that we come to about the 50 percentile. I think that also, to me, is very very laudable. AI can be used for good, but it also has certain deleterious tendencies or impacts that it can have. So countries have to make sure that they determine all those good things AI can be used for and make sure that they are able to. AI is so important. Nigeria needs to take it absolutely very, very seriously in terms of what we can use it to achieve. But because AI also has deleterious impacts, potential, that is even making people in the West to be a little bit careful. For example, Professor Jeffrey Hinton, who used to work for Google and was, one of those that are making, strident effort.
Doctor, I'm afraid.
Sorry?
It's like the time that's allocated to us somehow elapsed. So I think AI is a very interesting conversation, and we will continue this conversation, Moses, with the fact that you are an AI expert. So I think we will talk more about AI, but maybe in part 2 of this conversation. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.